Right, blessings, everybody. This is Saoirse, and I'm doing another video review of a book for Pagan Pages. And this is a book that I'm really excited about. I like the author's whole attitude and tone, and their positive energy is just contagious in this. This is called Manifestation Magic, and this is by Elohim Leafar. He has been given a beautiful name after the first word in the first book of the Bible, Elohim. And that was the assembly of gods that had male and female gods and goddesses that created everything. And that is our author's first name. This is 21 rituals, spells, and amulets for abundance, prosperity, and wealth. And I'm going to read to you a little bit about what this guide has to say. If you've not read this book, I think you really need to. Even people who consider themselves to stay positive and really not let things get them down, listen to what this guy has to say in his preface. September 27th, 2015, lacking any knowledge of English beyond a simple hello, how are you, or bye, bye, bye. I got off the plane at Atlanta and proceeded to search for my connecting flight to New York City. I carried a suitcase with my old laptop, a Kindle, my grimoire, many books, 6 charm bags, 2 changes of clothes, my toothbrush, and $15. I knew practically no one, and clearly nobody knew me. I didn't have a job lined up or the name of a lawyer, much less any money to pay one. 5 months later, I was signing a publishing contract with a large publishing house while working full-time and doing readings on weekends. Now, 4 years later, I'm writing this book to teach you how I did it from scratch, what I had to learn and what I learned to do. Here's his picture. Born in Venezuela to a family of spiritual and magical healers, Elohim Leafar lives in New York City, where he is manifesting his best life. A shaman, diviner, and magician who is influenced by traditional Afro-Caribbean mythology, he teaches throughout New York City, making annual appearances at Witches Fest and New York Pagan Pride. Find him at ElohimLeafar.com or follow him on Instagram. This book, the whole attitude of I can, let me see what I can do, let me do the best that I can do, is what really shines and comes through in this book. And then obviously there's things that all of us can't do, or things that we can't do as well as we think we can. All you have to do is watch one of these cooking or talent shows and see people fall flat on their faces that are overly confident, to understand that confidence does not automatically create success. But having that attitude, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to do the best I can do, and I'm going to see just how much I can accomplish, is the whole thing. And that's how you manifest. You don't sit and think about something and say, okay, I wish for this, and boom, it happens. You sit there and you tell yourself what you want, and then you say, okay, I'm going to get up off my backside and I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to find out what I have to do, and I'm going to see how well I do at this. That's what it's all about. So, some more things he had to write about. The power to summon and the 4 gods you must avoid. And here's a little picture that he wrote up. The 4 things to avoid. You, as a mage or sorcerer, are a divine manifestation of the universe. You are literally the desire of your ancestors made flesh and blood. Well, that's one way to say it. Your ancestors asked for the arrival of a hero, a king, or a healer to save their lineage, their lands, and their culture. They prayed for centuries to their gods. And you are the end result of those desires that have finally materialized in this world. As such, The load of the divine and ancestral power that runs through your veins is enormous, practically unlimited and infinite. I'll drink to that. Sip of tea. Such beautiful words he has to say. As a creature of enormous power, your words and actions function as decrees of the universe. Everything you think, everything you want, everything you say is charged with enormous power, and it will only be a matter of time before it manifests. One of the differences between the mage and the common person is that the mage knows the origin of this energy and thus takes the best advantage of it. Each spell and each ritual is a whole mathematical equation that is carried out, combining the energy of various elements to achieve a particular response. Just as you call the gods of abundance and good fortune, they will not take long to make themselves present, but there are also gods that you must be very careful about. The more you think about them or mention them, even unconsciously, the more power you are giving them to be present in your life. These are the four deities of lack, envy, discord, and misfortune. They are the alter ego of the numerous gods of abundance, good fortune, wealth, and prosperity, and many ancient pagan religions have given names to some of their incarnations. Now, let's be honest. Sometimes you're working as hard as you can, you're doing the best you can, and something horrible befalls you. Something that you can't get your way out of. You might get sick, you might get injured, you might go through a terrible loss that you can't control. Okay? Nobody in any book like this is saying that you're not allowed to feel disgruntled or dejected or defeated temporarily. What they're saying is you can't tell yourself things like, oh, well, this serves me right because I'm not good enough and I could never have anything anyways. You've got to pick yourself up. You've got to tell yourself, okay, I'm going to do what I can to get over this hurdle. This is awful, but I'm going to do what I can to get through this, and I'm going to keep going. That's the whole thing it's about. But if you sit there and you just harp about how you've been dealt a hard hand in life and everything you touch turns to rot and you're never going to get better and things are going to never improve for you, well, they won't with that attitude because you're not even going to try. So don't do that to yourself, is what he's saying. Something else he says, this is farther back in the book. What happens after desire? It all starts with the desire, doesn't it? Before we start doing something, hey, I want to do that. I want to go for that class. I want to go for that job. I want to move to this hometown. I want to be friends with these people. I want to learn this new skill, whatever. It all starts with desire, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Once we have a desire, whatever it may be, we have three immediate options that our mind puts into play to make us decide how high and how necessary the fulfillment of the desire is for us. The first option, the optimistic option, work to fulfill the desire. If you want something strongly enough, go for it. So make it a priority. Then the desire grows into a dream. Dream. And once we take steps towards it, this desired dream becomes a goal, then a project plan we seek to fulfill. Second option, the pessimistic option. Deny this desire and just assume that it's impossible. If you refuse to seek fulfillment of the desire, whatever the reason, it will always generate some general frustration, and frustration often leads us to feel worse about ourselves. And the third option, the conscious option. Analyze how strong this desire is and place it on your wish list. This is where individuals with the most experience, maturity, and decision-making ability consciously assume that although desire is not impossible, it may not be a priority. So they keep it in mind as something of a longer term that can either happen or not. But that for now is not a priority. Whichever one of these three main options you choose, desire will always achieve an end result: fulfillment or abandonment. When the wish is fulfilled, whatever your desire, you will embrace and appreciate it. But after that, the power of the desire ends. If you want it to gradually improve or become something different, you will have to make a new wish. But once you have it, you simply stop wanting it. When the wish is not fulfilled, it can lead to personal frustration, anxiety, and an endless stream of negative reactions, which, while not representing an absolute end to your attempts, can make you feel bad. We have probably all wanted something at some point that we didn't get, and it's important to study these wishes from the past. Identify the patterns among them and review and study why they were not fulfilled. What was the obstacle? Was it something to blame on your parents or parenting model? Did you try and fail, but did you at least try? I invite you to carry out that self-analysis so that you know exactly what is limiting and frustrating you. Once you can identify these patterns, you will know where to start when you want something new, what attitudes and thoughts to avoid, and what or who to lean on. This is just beautiful. You can really see that he's somebody who works and teaches and mentors and shares in the metaphysical community. It really comes through in his writings. I would really like everybody to run out and get a copy of this. I mean, there are things about candle spells, rituals to dispel lack, anxiety, and conflict at home, magical circles of wealth, how to make soaps to charge for magic, how to dissect what your mental relationship is with money and how to improve that, what different colors represent, what different days represent, what different phases of the moon represent. This is just a really good magical manual of how to manifest things. This guy is really one to learn from. So go out and get a copy of this. You can get this online. And this is it's a Weiser book. So that's a really, really good metaphysical publishing house. All right, everybody. Be blessed and may you manifest everything you want. And if you're having trouble with that, this guy can help. This has been Saoirse with Pagan Pages. Blessed be.